Alright, hello guys, welcome back to the new edition of this particular YouTube channel. They are your pro tips. Alright, actually it has been a while on this particular YouTube channel. I'm very sorry for that because I've been trying to observe some strategies lately. So in this particular video I'm going to talk about how you can use average goals in the last 10 games for predicting over 1.5 goals. Actually, in the previous video about this particular strategy of over 1.5 goals, there is this particular app that I use for generating most of my games, and the purpose of using this particular apps is because it makes things to be more easier, when it comes to getting games and doing analysis, instead of doing your analysis on games with large data. So this particular app is very simple. I make use of the machine aspect. So the first thing that I do is that I select the event type, and then I move on to the days. That is any day, but most times we always have more than enough games during the weekend compared to weekdays. So I'll go for 3 days, and the matches number will be 20, and I'm going for 20 because sometimes we will be editing out some games, so we may not have enough game to go with at the end of the day. And regarding to the odd range, you can just reduce the odd range to 1 from 1 to 1.6. And when it comes to probabilities interval, don't bother yourself regarding to that. So far you are using the odd range of 1.0 to 1.6, and for the probability interval you don't need that for over 2.5 goals. You can use that one for double chance, or maybe there is another approach that you want to use for it. Now the system has generated 20 games for me, and don't forget, in the previous video regarding to this particular strategy, what we do is that we generate over 2.5 goals. Actually what we want to predict is over 1.5 goals. Don't forget, we are predicting over 1.5 goals, but we are generating games of over 2.5 goals. And the purpose of doing this is because we want to make things to be more safe, when you are predicting games, right? And in the previous video regarding to this particular strategy, we were using this app majorly. That is, after selecting the games that we want to predict, we are going to check the statistics. So if you come down to the statistics here, you guys will find it here, and you go for the goals under or over. You are going to see the percentage for over 0.5 goals, over 1.5, and over 2.5. And what I said in that particular video was that if you want to go for over 1.5 goals in any game that you are using this app to generate, you need to consider the fact that for the over 2.5 goals, we generated the over 2.5 goals. So for the over 2.5 goals, the percentage for the home team and the away team must be 70%. At least these particular two colors must be green. So currently we are having 70 and 50, right? So, and I say that if this particular thing is not meeting up, if we are unable to get 70% for both, you are going to skip it. But that particular approach seems to be strict, because if you check many of the games, it will be very hard for you to even get games that meet up with that particular approach. Because checking this particular game also, you can see we have 60 and 40%. Actually this particular strategy is actually good and it is very strict, but it can be annoying sometimes when you are unable to get games that you want. If you check this one too, actually Barcelona met up with what we want, 100% over 2, but their opponents did not meet up with it. And checking this particular match, Dortmund against Bayer Leverkusen, you can see this one they have 60% for both. And checking many more games like that, that's how we are having it. So I've decided to make more research on this particular strategy, and I'm able to get I'm able to solve the problem of not getting enough games using this particular strategy. So it depends on which approach you want to apply. So this happens to be the previous approach regarding to over 1.5 goals prediction. Now in this particular video I'm going to show you guys how you can use the average point to predict your over 1.5 goals. So but the first thing that you need to do, generate over 2.5 goals using this app. Now I'm using AI score to for most of my analysis of recent, and now I'm going to check the games that we want to predict under the Switzerland Cup, and this happens to be the game the bookie we are currently expecting over 2.5 goals according to the app. So what you just need to do next is that, so just click on the game and we have the head to head. Now under this particular head to head, we are not looking at their last previous games against each other. What we want to look at is the last 10 games against other opponents. So the reason I'm using this particular app is it makes the analysis to be more easier to do. And so we are going to change this for the home team. So we are going for the last 10 games. So this is where you are going to change it. Just change it to maybe 12 because of the additional 2 games that are coming next. So I'm going to use 12. So if we are to count it, it should be 10 games. The last 10 games for the home team. Alright, so that's the last 10 games for the home team. And what you just need to look into is that the average goal scored and goal conceded combined together must be over 2.5 goals. As you can see, for the home team, the average goal scored happens to be 1.5 and the average goal conceded happens to be 1.7. And for the away team, we are going to do the same thing by checking the last 10 games, the average goal scored and goal conceded. So what we have currently here is that the average goal scored happens to be 1.0 and the average goal conceded happens to be 1.9. Combining both together, we are getting 2.9. And for this particular stage, this thing actually meet up with what we actually want. And another thing that you can also consider before moving on is that you need to check the odd for the value bet of this particular game. What the bookies must be suggesting for you when it comes to the odd for the value bet must be around maybe 3.5, as you guys can see. The reason I'm saying this is that you cannot compare games that you are expecting over 2.5 goals to games that they don't really score goals very well in that particular league. For example, let's take for example the Argentina league. They are known for playing under 2.5 goals, under 3.5, and also straight draw. Now you can see, let's check. You are going to see the odd for the value bet for this particular league, and that's when you are that alone will give you an insight regarding to the market you want to go for. All right, so let's see. Let me just check like 2 games under this particular league. You can see 1001. That's what they play mostly. So maybe you want to go for under 2.5 goals, under 3.5, straight draw. Argentina league happens to be one of the perfect league for market like that, and maybe probably want to predict correct score also. I will advise you guys to only go for leagues like Argentina leagues. So you can see this happens to be 1.5 and that happens to be the value bet that the bookmakers are currently suggesting. So if I were you, I'll just go for over 0.5 goals. If I want to predict maybe my over 1.5 goals on Argentina leagues alone, I'll go for over 0.5 goals. But alright, now so for Barcelona against Atletico Madrid, and if we are to check the average goal scored and goal conceded, we can see that this is even above 3. Are you getting it? So combining 2.7 and 1.8 average goal conceded, that is above what we are actually looking for. And for Atletico Madrid, as you guys can see, we have average goal scored of 1.8 and goal conceded as 0.8, and combining both together we are getting 2.6, which is above 2.5 that we are targeting. So that's what you can actually apply to all these particular games that you guys are seeing, and softly you are going to get your over 1.5 goals. But guys, you need to be very careful because no strategy is 100% accurate. I actually applied this particular strategy on a particular game that we are also expecting to end up as over 1.5 goals, and that is the match between Monaco and PSG. Actually, PSG lost to this particular team with one goals to no, and when the goal first came in, I was expecting a win already because I was expecting PSG to draw at least, and because the game came the first goal came so early. And so what you just need to do is that make sure that you have a fixed and target odd for this particular strategy. All right, now, so see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.